Now we have some closing thoughts from Shields and Brooks, syndicated columnist Mark Shields, New York Times columnist David Brooks. First, Mark, what did you think of the governor's response?
The governor's a very appealing, Jim. He was faithful to the Virginia tradition of ancestor worship. He talked about the founders and Jefferson at least 5 times, and he got his biggest hand about drilling offshore in Virginia, which had been a big issue in his campaign. It was both a national speech and a local speech, and I mean, it was sort of Virginia-based, you know, I think as these things go, it probably worked better than most.
What did you think? Better than most?
Yeah, I think we're not going to see a guy standing alone in a room anymore.
No. It's a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Bring your posse.
Bring your crowd. Yeah, your entourage. We'll get HBO specials.
Yeah.
You know, it's just more interesting to look at more faces. You get some human reaction. You think, oh, that person likes him.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Right. Yeah.
And so I thought it was pretty effective. He spoke it a little too fast.
Yeah.
But he clearly had found his theme, which is more anti-government. It was very Jeffersonian, which is the government that governs least governs best. And that's obviously going to be the Republican theme this year.
Do you think he was effective in laying that out? In other words, this is what Republicans believe now in the years of the Obama administration.
Right. I mean, they had sort of forgotten what they believed in the era of Tom DeLay, but this is it. This is the theme. That's what Scott Brown ran on. It's what Republicans are going to run on. And what strikes me is that the Republicans make this big principled argument, or at least tonight, against government, but Obama doesn't actually make an argument for government. He says, you know, I'm cutting your taxes too. I'm for offshore drilling too. And so he's much more practical, but there's no counter-argument.
Yeah. Back to the Obama speech, everybody said, oh, he had to do something tonight. Did he do it? Define what it is, and then did he do it, Mark?
He did everything tonight.
Did everything.
Well, I mean, I made that. I mean, jobs, deficit, freeze on government spending, health, education, the Recovery Act. He embraced bipartisanship. He condemned partisanship. Nuclear weapons, energy, national security. I mean, there really wasn't. It was a supermarket of a speech. It really was. I mean, there wasn't. To me, the theme was that one of turning the corner on optimism. We can do, and we have done this. We're great people, but there wasn't something you walked away and say, okay, let us march in this direction. I'm just not sure what the lead is of his speech.
David, what about the idea going in that it said his deficit was that he hadn't demonstrated to the American people their pain. Right. That he understood their pain.
I thought he did that quite well, actually. In the first, maybe third or quarter of the speech, he resonated with the unemployed and people like that. I thought that was one of the successful parts of the speech.
Do you agree with that, Mark?
I do. When you get to the Eat Your Vegetables section of the speech, which was, you know, we're going to eliminate the tax cuts and the oil companies and investment fund and the freeze. Boy, there was little applause in the hall on that. I mean, they applauded all the big ticket items, but
is it a speech that deserves to be remembered and probably will be, or is it just a speech?
Well, I can't remember the content will be remembered, but I thought it was a good speech. I think this was a very good night for him, aside from the attack on TV pundits.
I'm so glad you brought that up. He took that hit on TV pundits, but he wasn't talking about you all.
He certainly was, and I've taken it personally. And I'm taking umbrage with it.
But do you think this speech, that aside, do you think this is a speech to be remembered?
No. I mean, I think it worked. I think it was a workmanlike speech. I think he gives a very good speech. It's far better than most. But I don't think it's a speech it's not gonna go down with the 4 freedoms of Franklin Roosevelt and the State of the Union speech. It's not gonna go down with Lyndon Johnson. I mean, it's not gonna be remembered in that sense. I mean, unless his presidency turns from this point and improves.
That's what started the turn.
That's right.
But you gotta wait to see if it turns.
That's right.
Okay. All right. David, Mark, thank you both very much.